The deal was worth billions. The room was silent, and in less than 5 minutes, a man was about to sign his own death warrant. The room didn't fall silent when he entered. It collapsed. Laughter died mid-breath. Glasses stilled in trembling hands. Men who moments ago thought themselves powerful suddenly remembered their place, their debts, their fear. No one spoke his name. No one needed to. They had heard the stories. Everyone had. They told them in whispers, not because they were afraid of being heard, but because saying his name too loudly felt like an invitation. And in this city, invitations from him only ended one way. By the time you hear his name, it's already too late. Some say he built his empire on blood. Others say blood was simply the price of doing business. Either way, the city learned one rule very quickly. You don't cross him. You don't run from him. And if he's coming for you, you pray he finishes it fast. He wore power the way other men wore suits, effortlessly, without apology. No raised voice, no sudden movements, just a quiet authority that bent the room around him. Because kings are born, but men like him, they take the throne. And when he walked in, power did not follow him. It answered to him. At the center of the table sat Jae-yoon Park, a name that carried weight in every underground network. Cold, precise, untouchable, a Korean mafia boss who did not make mistake. Beside him was his wife, Soo-min, elegant, controlled, fluent in 3 languages, the perfect partner, the perfect translator. Across the table, foreign investors, dangerous men disguised as businessmen, contracts lay open, pens ready, and standing quietly in the corner, wiping the table no one noticed anymore, was Nia, a cleaner, invisible, or at least that's what they thought. The conversation began, smooth, professional. Soo-min translated calmly, every word flowing effortlessly. But something was wrong. Nia's hand paused mid-wipe because what Soo-min was saying wasn't what the men were saying. Not even close. Her eyes narrowed slightly, listening, calculating, because Nia wasn't just a cleaner. She was former intelligence, elite level linguist, the kind trained to hear what others miss. And right now, she was hearing a lie. Soo-min smiled softly. Mr. Park, they agreed to our terms. But in reality, the words spoken were chilling. He agrees to surrender all control. Once signed, he is finished. Nia's pulse quickened. This wasn't a bad deal. This was a setup, a complete takeover, followed by elimination. And Jae-hyun, he had no idea. The pen was placed in his hand. Seconds away, Nia's mind raced. Stay silent and disappear forever, or speak and risk being exposed. Because if she was wrong, she dies. And if she was right, everyone in this room might. The pen touched the paper.
Stop!
The room froze. All eyes turned to her. The cleaner, Jae-hyun's gaze sharpened instantly. Dangerous. Explain, he said coldly. Nia stepped forward slowly. They are not agreeing to your terms, she said. They are taking everything from you. The room shifted. Everything cracked. Somi's smile faded. That's not true, she said quickly. But it was too late because Jae-yoon didn't look at his wife. He looked at the men across the table, and for the first time, they hesitated. That was all he needed. The truth does not always speak. Sometimes it sleeps. Translate it again, he said quietly. Sumin did not move, did not speak, and that silence said everything. Chaos erupted. Chairs scraped. Guards moved. Guns drawn. Sumin did not move, did not speak, and that silence said everything. But Jae-yoon did not flinch because the danger wasn't in front of him anymore. It was beside him, his wife. You planned this? He said. Not angry, certain. Sumi's composure broke for just a second. You were getting weak, she said, and they offered power. Because betrayal always sounds reasonable to the one committing it. Jae-yoon exhaled slowly, then turned, not to his guards, but to Nia, the invisible one. Leave, he said. But she did not move, because she knew something he did not. They won't let this room stay alive, she said quietly. And just like that, the game changed completely. What followed wasn't a deal. It was war. But this time, Jae-yoon was not blind, and the woman no one saw was the reason he survived. Because in a room full of power, the most dangerous person is the one nobody notices.